This is day 339 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. If you'd like to sponsor upcoming share of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi or more, please contact me directly. It would be very greatly appreciated. We're still Reish Mem Beis for a few more days. Today we're doing Chaf Aleph to Chaf Zayin. We're talking about learning the malachos from the Mishkan, and we're talking about the malachos being done deliberately. Melachos machshavos also Torah in the Mishkan, and it's mitams and before chafal mitams and before some b'chol Shabbos Sech Shabbos Davar Shem Miskavim Plukted Rabbi Yehuda Rabbi Shimon. It's famous almost Sech Shabbos that whether Davar Shem Miskavim is also Midrabanan, of course not also Midraisa is Machlokes to be Rabbi Shimon. Rabbi Shimon Mutar Chatchil Kon Rabbi Shimon is not even also the Rabbanan. It's Mutar Chatchila. After also Chatchil Kon Rabbi Yehuda, even though it's forbidden to do Davar Shem Miskavim, is something which is not intended. It's nevertheless only also Midrabanan. Rabbi Shabbos from other than Shabbos. In other prohibited areas, it's also either Raisa. Not here. But after Rabbi Shimon is feeling the Gam B'Shabbos and Mutar Min HaTorah and Muchal B'Psachim do B'Shabbos, even though Rabbi Shimon holds by other prohibitions under Shabbos, Davar Shem Miskavim is Mutar Min HaRaisa. Become Gam the Gam Ben Miskavim Chaim. Nevertheless, the things where even if you don't have an intention, you are liable. Come on, these arguments such as damages, v'chayav and inadvertent killings. The pasuk the gam kilayim chayav abshem miskavin seems that also by kilayim by planting together making forbidden mixtures, it's your chayav for the prohibition even if you don't have it in mind. Well, that we just learned is because in Melachos machshavos, so it's got to be deliberate work, and Davar Shem Miskavim therefore is at least okay the Raisa, perhaps even the Rabbanan as we paskin on Raisa, and also including this, to me there has to be chen nichlam Melachos machshavos in a dafka Melacha shel Ma'aser Uman. It has to be a Melacha which is a craft. K'mo she'av a Mishkan Melachos Charash v'Choshev, like the Mishkan where it was the Melacha of smiths and craft, smithing. I'm not sure how to translate Charash. It's obviously some form of smithing, and Choshev and planned work, I guess we'd say. Something which is not a work of craft. It's not called labor on Shabbos. There was somebody who plows a heap of produce on Shabbos. If there is no other malacha involved, he's no liable midoraisa. Like Rabbanan also is just forbidden me Rabbanan mishum uvdin dechol because it is a weekday activity, mishum muktzeh, and because the produce is muktzeh. Times gam gabe kesher. That's why also in terms of tying a knot, shumiyavas malachos, which is one of the primary categories, eno chayav ela kesher shamaisim when you're only liable for a craftsman's knot, not a slip knot, as we shall see. K'moshe is Yikoska Barambam. Or because you require the deliberate and thoughtful labor. That's why people who, that's why if you do something ruinous on Shabbos, destructive, you're exempt. It's also the Rabbanan, but it's not the Raisa. It's only Chayiv the Raisa if you ruin something, destroyed something in preparation for fixing. Avam Makalka. But someone just ruins something, going to say binyan, such as he destroys a building, shalom nasim noso, without intent to rebuild it. Potter min HaTorah, you're exempt midoraisa mitam de'ezem melachos machshavos, because it's not melachos machshavos work, which is in this case has to be not just deliberate, has to be not just a matter of craft, but also has to be a matter which is constructive, because melachos machshavos is planned constructive labor. The Mishkan you call malachas the tikkun v'lo l'kilkul. Everything in the Mishkan was to fix and not to destroy, not to ruin. So too a malacha which is not done for its primary original purpose, which is according to those who exempt, which is Rabbi Shimon, as we shall see, so also because of Melachos machshavos, because part of deliberate labor is labor for the purpose for which you intended, for which it was supposed to be intended. Like the Tesis right, man mechayev He also says brackets Yagam Rashi Tzorch Lamarkain. So we say it's called Rashi as well. Man the Mechayvi Rabbi Yehuda holds that Bachshen Tzichel Gufa is Chayim. In other words, the Raisa. We should feel the same became Melechas Machshavas. It's because this is called Melechas. He holds it's Melechas Machshavas. In other words, since it's doing the Malacha deliberately, it doesn't matter if it's being done for the standard purpose or not. Another thing we learn from Melechas Machshavas, we times them Gamis Asek Melechas Eter. If somebody is involved in doing something which is permitted, but also we have the Melechas Isser, and instead he does something which is prohibited, because he's out of mind to cut grass which is already cut. And lo and behold, the Chatzach is already cut grass, which is grass which is still connected to the ground. You also exempt on account of Melechas Machshavas. But if you skam Melechas Isur, and even if you might do something prohibited, but you didn't do it the way you intended it, but a different way, such as you had in mind to cut this grass which is connected to the ground, and instead of you cut another grass connected to the ground, you're also exempt for this reason. But of course she's brought, but not everybody agrees to this last statement. So too, if you had in mind to do Malacha X and then Malacha Y, but also the other behalf, I would say the Malacha Y and then Malacha X. He's also exempt because it was not in the deliberate manner which he intended. As they say, more on this later. And actually, even this evening, we should get the Chav Zayin. Normally, Melechas Machshavas the Torah is a clarion call for leniency, but there's one thing which is severity. Somebody who scatters grain in the wind, and in order to remove the chaff from the kernels, Chayav, he's liable. It's one of the 39 primary categories. Even though the primary labor is done by the wind, that was that feeling he's talking about, and even if it came. This had ramifications in terms of damages, but you're exempt because it's certainly no more than a groma. Because this the deliberate labor, because that's the way winnowing is done. This guy machshavton, his intent was fulfilled. Because he's okay, he's happy with that which the wind is assisting him. Anyway, in mind to do a malacha, and another malacha took place. Shaloni skavin law, which he did not have mind to do. Pater is exempt on that one. Shaloni stays mashato because his thought was not fulfilled. Kavachomer, certainly in iskavin lisor kal, if you had in mind to do a lighter prohibition. Now I say isor chamor and a more severe prohibition resulted. You had in mind to do something permitted, but also do something else. Such as in mind to cut that which is already cut, and cut that which is still connected to the ground. We're not liable for anything, and anything similar as well. That which he mentions, so you had in mind to cut the cut, and you cut that which is connected. It's a Gemara in Shabbos. Rashi, Kavona, according to Rashi, means you have to cut off this gourd, shu tolu, which is already cut from the ground. You cut another gourd, which is still connected to the ground. But I was saying about Tosfos, they asked him this. If in this such a scenario, even you might cut something which is connected. And cut down something else which is also connected. But this one with something else, you're also potter. Kambur bekrisis. The miskam loko te'enazu, if you had in mind to harvest this fig tree, instead you harvested another fig tree, potter, you're exempt, because his intent was not fulfilled. And therefore it's not melechas machshavas. So why do you mention cutting that which is already cut? We didn't have mind to do prohibition at all. Even had mind to do prohibition is still exempt. It must be therefore, according to Tosfos, he says that Tosfos says it must be when he had in mind to cut that which he cut, and he cut that which still connected, that you cut the cord you wanted to cut. But you thought that it was already not connected. You found it is connected. Your exam because you were misasek, you thought you were about something permitted, for also be other isser and something prohibited resulted. See there in detail. Chavav, Rambam near the hedge of the Rambam is explicit Karashi. And the other commentators agree. The Ivar of a comment for what he says later on, used by air, becomes clear. We had in mind for this thing which is connected, and you got another thing which is connected. If there's no difference between one and the other, you are indeed liable. The same became Melechus Machshavas. That is called Melechus Machshavas. Niskavin Mechubar Zeh v'Chatan Mechubar Acher. But Rabbi is going to the creases. Rabbi asks from that which it says in creases seems to say not that way. Ava Rambam Dachi Hach the creases and they sugi the Shabbos. The Rambam holds the sugi to argue, and the sugi in Shabbos, which is more chomer than the sugi in creases, says Niskavin Lachto Mechubar Zeh v'Chatan Mechubar Acher is chayiv. V'only is like the Gamsu the creases to Yamaskona Silversky. Arukh HaShulchan says, I think that the sugi increases also, in conclusion, holds that way. So brackets here. The bottom Mikodam Sabra Gemara Taisis Varayvid. Initially, more held like Taisis and Rayvid that Niskamin Lachtoch Mechubar Zevachatam Mechubar Acher. That might cut one Mechubar Mitkan another Mechubar your potter. Mugach Niskamin Kotheinim Lokat Anovim. That's what he speaks about. You had in mind to collect figs, and you collect instead dates. The Masha B'tainim Mechayev. It indicates that if you had in mind to collect figs and you collect the figs, you're chayev. Sheshachach melaket mi libo, because he forgot which ones he had in mind to collect. There has to do with the order. So he also said figs and figs. You're chayev even if you had in mind to do one and then did the other. You're still chayev if the same figs. There's no qualitative difference. When you change the order, though, it's worse, and then you're going to be potter. The Kamish law saw because he didn't do what he thought he was going to do. So when you had in mind to throw 4 amos, and you threw 8 amos, potter exam. Because you didn't do what you thought you were going to do. There's a significant difference. But figs and figs, there's no true distinction between them. There's not a change. The Ushitas Rashi, Rambam, the Duke, and that's the opinion of Rashi and the Rambam. Because of the Rambam also writes, this common look to Einim. Shchores, look at the voters. You have in mind to collect black dates and figs, and you collect white figs. Or she's got in mind to collect figs, and then grapes. The nepachadavar did the opposite. They can of him. You took first grapes and then figs. Part to exempt. Obviously, even though you took everything you wanted to take. However, lowly cake a seder shechashav, since you didn't take it according to the order in which you want to take it, patur, you're exempt. Shabbat Kavana also was done without intent. Shloso Torah Melechus Machshavas, Torah only forbade intentional, deliberate, in this case according to the order, labor. However, I'm staying there as doko so clear. You have in front of you 2 candles which are lit or extinguished. Sky Mechabos is Zeh Mechava Zu. You had in mind to extinguish this one, you extinguish the other one. You had in mind to ignite one, and then ignite the other one. Chayav, you're liable. Because in this case, they're interchangeable. They're both candles, they're both to light and both to extinguish. You did the work, ultimately you intended to do. It's like someone could have my mind. It's like one fig and took another fig. But if you had in mind, well, it would be a parallel case where you're exempt. You had in mind to light one and then to extinguish the other one afterwards. Change, and first you extinguish the first one, and then you lit the second one afterwards. Putter, sorry, you're exempt. Kava Zubi Hizuk Shima Achas Chayav. There, Bavas Achas. Shomar V'Zocher B'Liborechel, right? You extinguish one and ignite the other one in one breath, you're liable. Shapisha Lo Hikdim, even though he didn't do it first, Kari Lo Hicher. He also didn't do it last. The Chen Kokeh so do anything else which is simultaneous. Anybody does a malacha as a misasek, you know, he's involved doing something else, and he does this malacha, he is exempt ad kan l'shayna. Long brackets here. The Rambam is referring to that which it says if you had in mind to pick up that which is already severed from the ground, and you cut something which is still connected to the ground, you're exempt. They all shouted at the Rambam. That which you had in mind when you had in mind to collect one thing, collect another one, you're liable, but increases mugila dafka b'shachar lakim libo. It increases talking about simply where he forgot which one he wanted to take. Ayin sham. But basically we wrote it's fine. It comes out good. The Rava ain't no silver cake. The Rava doesn't know that way. Zergam shitas Rashi that we don't pass that way. Lichtam garatfei, and as we said right before, and the order, the change in order is worse, which means it's better. It's more potter. The main shina because the change is obvious. Therefore, it's not proper lechus mashcheves. Anytime that the change is not obvious, nikar, then likar mechas shemes, then it's called mechas shemes. So as a shopper call, everything works out fine in Danti Beduk. So another brackets here, brackets after brackets. Zeu shekasem Rashi b'kris Hashem sodi yamaskal likdein. Ava b'misasik ba'alma by normally by misasik shlois kamen el achas v'lo hasa. You didn't have in mind only one. You only have one thing in mind. He didn't do it, but Chaben did the other thing. Chayama potter everybody holds you part the kind of shano. Zeu kishchar stilavados Rabbi. That's like black figs and white figs. Rabbi Yehuda. I'm sorry, I parsed wrong. Zeu shchar stilavados. The Rabbi Yehuda zeu shem echad kumash kasam yikoyin dima masel Rabbi Yehuda ayin sham. When Rabbi Yehuda, it's the white and black doesn't make a difference. But according to our understanding, it certainly is different, and Rabbi Shimon Shizur and Rabbi Shimon Chai certainly hold that weight. That's around the basket. Why should Allah not be like them? Like Rabbi Yehuda, as opposed to Rabbi Yehuda, the Rabbi Bimninu, they are majority. Mucha Pasha Sugi Shabbos Shabbos seems to be similar to Shabbos. The raya the mamesh lo bein chashav kishein shinui. The evidence that you don't need literally precisely as he was thinking when there is no significant difference is mishima achas chayav, is from the extinguishing and igniting one breath. Chayav because Ramasham dinak dumi lo aktim. Sure, you didn't do it earlier. Nami lo macham. He didn't do later either. Ayin sham. Kashlam mikomacom kapani means that machshav takdim. It's difficult. It's not going according to his talk, which was to do one before the other. Abaya came then Nikar clearly because the difference is not recognizable. Lomer Keshina is not called a difference. Not called you're doing it differently, and therefore V'havim Melechus Machshavas. It is Melechus Machshavas, and you are obviously going to be Chayav V'du.